Some people are running around, you think that they're real people in these places you go to. They're just codes, programs. Programs with an ability to change, to recode. But until that point, they're just programs. They're literally running off of hard-coded software in their body. They are totally unaware that they're even running off of a program. The majority of the people on this planet are prisoners and the prison guards. That's why you can talk to somebody about gossip at a water fountain at work and have a great conversation. But as soon as you start talking about something serious, like 9/11 or any other serious thing that's going on in the world that's controversial, aliens or whatever, the Pentagon says that we have vehicles that are not of this world, all of a sudden you see their face change. Whoa, don't talk about that. Now let's go back to talking about the Kardashians. What are you doing? I don't want to talk about that crazy stuff. They turn from a prisoner into a prison guard real quick. And when they snap you back, then they go back down to the prisoner mode again. It's programming doing that. Actual program code doing that. Some of us here are able to break that program code and rewrite our DNA, rewrite our consciousness, rewrite the coding that's been embedded into us, into our avatar bodies. But a lot of people just can't do it. It's going to take some time. Some people will have to come back several times before they're able to even realize that there's a code that they can break. Some people you're talking to, you have to realize that they're just children. That's why when I see people make these crazy comments on my posts, I recognize them as children. Not as an insulting way. This may be their first or second time here. I'm ancient and I know this already. You can be born from parents that are newborns, and you yourself can be 1,000 years old, 2,000 years old, 10,000 years old. There are people walking around 20 and 30 years old that are ancient, and there are people walking around that are 50 and 70 years old that are newborns in this dimension. Don't confuse chronological age with spiritual age. Don't confuse it. Two totally different things. Two totally different things. All right, guys, I've been rambling for a little while now. Anyway, look, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I got to run. I got some stuff to do today, and I got to go get some lunch in me because I spent so much energy today on that beach. I'm starving right now, all right? So I use up all that breakfast. It's evaporated. It don't even exist in my stomach anymore. But I'll be back on later, man. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Hopefully you got something out of this message today. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you go and do some research. The most important thing to do is look into information and stop believing everything. Dig it up, research. Somebody sends me something, I go start looking it up. I try to figure out what it's about first. I get stuff all the time, as you can probably imagine. I don't just grab it and post it. Oh, look at this. No, man. I got to go make sure this stuff is accurate first. How come you didn't talk about this? How come we talk about it? Because I didn't get a chance to research it yet. I'm sorry. If I get around to it, I get around to it. If I don't get to research it, I'm not going to post it. I don't know what I'm reposting. I don't even know if this information is accurate yet. I got to make sure I know what the hell I'm talking about. I got a responsibility. We all have a responsibility. All of us. We can't just put crazy stuff out there. This is a cloned rapper and he's in the Illuminati. Come on, we gotta, guys, come on, we gotta do better. All right. I'm gonna try to save this because people are requesting me to save it. I'm gonna try to save it, see if I can put it up on YouTube or something and post it on this account. All right. I love y'all. I will catch y'all later. And when that happens, everything that you want, need, flows right to you. Your abundance flows right to you without you even have to mention it. You just think about it and it happens. You walk with power. You walk with the strength of the divinity that's already inside of you. You don't need an outside source to do that for you. You don't need an outside source for you to be forgiven for anything. If you've done things in your past that you're ashamed of, that you feel bad about, forgive yourself. Because until you forgive yourself, you're never going to be able to move forward. You have the power to forgive yourself, period. Stop waiting for some magical deity with a magic wand to fly down and go, bing, you're forgiven. Forgive yourself. Number one. That's it. Forgive yourself. Just that easy. It's just that easy. I guarantee it. It's just that easy. Forgive yourself. When you're praying, stop begging for things to happen. See, when you pray, this is what Christians won't want to admit to you. They're trying to cast a spell. Why? Because every word is a spell. That's why they call it spelling, right? So when you're trying to, something's wrong and you start praying, you're trying to create a situation where things change into your favor, benefit you. The situation turns around. You're trying to cast a spell. You may not want to admit it, but that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to cast a spell. Stop lying to yourself. You're trying to cast a spell. Every word we utter casts a spell on space-time. Every word we utter is casting a spell. Every word. So when you're in a frequency state of, please help me, I need this change, that my car's gonna get repossessed and I gotta get this payment. I can't pay for my tuition. So-and-so is sick, blah, blah, whatever. If I connect your brain to a computer while you're in that prayer, it's going to be a very slow and wide oscillation on my screen. This has been done in laboratories already. A very slow, wide oscillation, which means that you're at a low frequency vibration. Begging, pleading, and hopelessness and fear is a low frequency vibration. It's not some spiritual hodgepodge talk. It's real science talk. Now, if you have put that same cap that picks up your frequencies and connect it to a computer and have you say, I command that my needs be met. I command that my bills be paid. I command that opportunity flows towards me. Now I look at the computer. I'm going to see a fast, high oscillating on my scale there. Fast, high oscillations, which means that I'm in gamma. When I'm in gamma mode, I'm at a high frequency vibration. When I'm in a high frequency vibration, guess what happened, guys? Now I'm synchronizing with the universal consciousness. Now I'm quantum entangling. Now things are flowing towards me. Positive things. In the low frequency state, negative things flows towards you. This is why when you call somebody on the phone or you see somebody you haven't seen in a while, and every time you see them or you call them, hey, what's going on? And they got a sob story for you. Oh man, this happened. Oh man, that happened. Oh, you won't believe this. And every time you see them, they got more bad stories to tell you. They never have anything good to say because they're in a low frequency vibration. So all they're attracting is low frequency energy. It's coming right back. They're like a boomerang. When you see me, I don't care if I got a penny in my pocket. I always say, I'm fantastic. I don't care what's going on. I could have just lost my damn dog. You see me? Man, life is great. I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing phenomenal. Phenomenal. It's a different switch up here. And you have to understand how it works. You have to understand how this works. Cymatic frequencies. When you're talking, you're not really per se speaking. You're emitting frequencies. You are emitting a vibration that moves atmospheric gases around. And as those atmospheric gases move, they create a particular frequency. And then that frequency is picked up by the universe, and you interpret it through a mechanism called an ear that takes that shift in waves and sends it as digital bits of information to the brain, and then the brain converts it into information and says, oh, this is what that sound was. Sometimes I gotta hop on here and just, ride out because you guys, man, I think sometimes you guys forget I got the knowledge, man. You guys think I'm just posting stuff to be posted. Listen, man, we got a lot of work to do still. Sometimes I make a post and I realize when I look, I say, man, we got a lot of work on this planet to do still. We got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. We got a lot of work to do. And I'm not discouraged. I'm just like, the biggest challenge that I have is getting people to stop being lazy. That's my biggest challenge since I've been on this mission, is to get people to actually put energy and effort into looking into things and researching things, especially the black community. And I'm going to be hardest on my people. I call it tough love. I'm going to be the hardest, the absolute hardest. Because why? Because black people as a whole don't respond to gentle. You have to give the shock factor. Without the shock factor, shit doesn't change. It's just the way it is. It's just reality. Shock factor wakes people up. Gentleness It has no effect. Not on my culture. It doesn't have an effect. Gentleness is seen as a sign of weakness in my culture. Some people say, why are you so, why are you so pumped up today? Because I'm talking primarily to the black culture right now. Because they're the ones that are holding on to this religion that was forced and beaten, raped into their ancestors, and still running around proclaiming it and still know nothing about it. Nothing about it. I mean nothing. I challenge any preacher from any church on this planet that believes in that religion to a debate. They won't be able to answer 80% of my questions because even they themselves have not done any research. The other 20% they can answer, well, the fact that they can answer the questions proves that they know that they're deceiving the masses. So they won't even take the challenge because they need to get that money coming in every week. Because they got a mortgage to pay and they got a Mercedes-Benz and a Cadillac they got to pay for. That's why. The other 80% still clueless. Still completely clueless. A lot of them are just programs. Soulless avatars operating on matrix coding. Running around these streets.